get started here. I had a call from my friend Ken 2 days ago. It said 104 degrees outside. T-shirt. 84 is the high today. Answer the prayers. Great day in Fayetteville, Arkansas. Thank you all for coming. Appreciate our great staff. Great work day on the board of school here. Call the meeting order now. If you'd like to speak today, turn our mic up mic. I would ask you to identify yourself and tell what institution you're from and what position is that institution. Let me begin by introducing our board. And they were from. Lucas is to my right down here. Lucas Pointer is from Bentonville. Thanks for here. Dudley, here to my left, and she has with her today her distinguished son, Will. Will, stand up right there. Yeah. Fifth grader in Little Rock. So we're glad to have you here, Will. Thank you for coming. Grayson Bigger did not make it today. She's not here. Carolyn Reinhardt on the end to the left. Carolyn's Scranton's. And our newest member, Chris Woodard from Bentonville. Chris is a
graduate of Arkansas State and a graduate of University of Arkansas Law School. So we're glad to have Chris on the board. He's going to be a great addition. Chancellor Robinson is right here. Chancellor, thank you for hosting us today. We want you to bring us a greeting. Thank you so much.
Well, good morning, everyone. Can you hear me? Again, it's my pleasure to welcome you to the University of Arkansas. I was told that this meeting hasn't taken place here in quite some time, since 2018. Now, that's too long. We got to get y'all back. We are very, very excited about our campus and things that are happening here. Your meeting date is both unfortunate and fortunate. It's unfortunate that you're not here when the students are here, because we have a very energetic, vivacious campus. But it is fortunate that you don't have to search for parking like you'd have to search for parking if they were here. We have, as of fall 2025, we have 34,161 students. I've been told that we're going to have a very bountiful freshman class. I mean, we could be approaching a new record. Our record in 2022 was 7,096 freshmen in that class. And there's a chance that we could exceed that number. If I get 7,097, you know I'm going to talk about it. We could exceed that. And the early indicator are the number of women who have applied for freshman rush. I was told yesterday we have 2,500, Hannah, 2,500 women who have, and that's an all-time record. So I'm feeling pretty good about my freshman class. And for those of you who don't know, we have a record number of Arkansans in that class. I know what the mythology is out there, and we got a bunch of Texans coming here, and we do have our fair share. But we support Arkansas, and we are a land-grant institution dedicated to this state, and we are going out in every part of this state trying to get more Arkansans here. We turn away those Texans. We do. We've turned away 2,000 plus for the last 3 years, but we never turn away a qualified Arkansan. If you meet our 3.2 GPA admission standard in Arkansas, we find you a bed. In Texas, we may have to send you back because we don't have room in the end. But we're excited about our university. We're excited to have you here. Thank you for the work that the coordinating board does. It's very important to the state of Arkansas because all of us, I know, are here to better serve the great state of Arkansas. So thank you so much. We're glad to have you here, and go Hogs. You know I got to say that. So thank you so much. Y'all have a great day.
Now, Chancellor, don't leave yet. Keep those Texans out. But in 2017, was that the last time we were here?
I heard you.
18. Okay. 2018. I want to put a little pressure on you now. The Chancellor had us over for dinner. We're glad. Put a little pressure on you. Thank you. Thank you for your welcome. Appreciate you. Bye-bye. Ask the board if you saw the minutes from the meeting on May 27th. Can I get a motion to approve those?
I so move.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Any errors? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Commissioner Warden will now give us the commissioner's report. Mr. Commissioner?
Just a few items this morning. We have some institutional changes we will announce, and then we got some special presentations from Ms. Mary Beth Hatch and from Sonia Hazelwood on our team. But on our institutional changes, we want to announce that Dr. Todd Shields was named the 4th president of Arkansas State University System on July 1. Dr. Shields previously served as chancellor of ASU Jonesboro from 2022 to 2026. Most of us know Dr. Shields. Good man. Glad to see him in this new role. Arkansas State University System Board of Trustees voted to appoint Shane Broadway, who is Assistant Vice President for University Relations, to an additional role as interim chancellor of ASU Three Rivers in Malvern, effective July 1. Also another longtime friend of ours. Appreciate Shane and looking forward to his leadership in that new role. Dr. Calvin White Jr. was Executive Vice Chancellor President of Arkansas State, was appointed to interim chancellor July 1, succeeding Dr. Shields. Prior to joining Arkansas State, he was spent 20 years at the University of Arkansas here in Fayetteville as a senior associate dean of Fulbright Colleges of Arts and Sciences. Dr. Adam O'Neill was selected to the University of Arkansas System Board as the next chancellor of UA East Arkansas Community College in Forest City. Dr. O'Neill stepped into the role in July 1 following the retirement of the previous chancellor, Dr. Kathy Klein. O'Neill previously served the school as the Vice Chancellor for Student Services. And last but not least, my friend Dr. Jo Alice Blondin began her new role as the interim president of Arkansas College of Health Education on July 13th. Dr. Blondin retired after 13 years as president of Clark State College in Springfield, Ohio. Before that, we worked together, and she was a chancellor of Arkansas Tech University campus between 2006 and 2013. So Dr. Blondin, welcome back to Arkansas. Colleagues, appreciate all of your work and your new appointments. So let's give these folks a round of applause. I know Dr. Blondin is here. Are any of the others in the room today? Dr. Blondin wins.
Yeah. Know the hand.
Oh, there we go. There's Adam. Yeah.
Adam,
Thank you all for being here.
Anything else?
ADHE staff, we're going to announce Brianna Robinson as our new financial aid intern. She started June 8th. Larissa Agbor in Congo was our Engage Arkansas program coordinator started on May 11th, and Carlos Mendoza also joined the Engage Arkansas team on July 6th. So
let's get them to stand. Let's get them to stand if they're here.
They're not here.
They're not here. Okay.
Appreciate their work. Last but not least, on staff changes, Dr. Tina Moore is with us. She was recently promoted to Assistant Commissioner for Workforce and Strategic Alignment. All of you who have worked with Dr. Moore know how diligent and smart that she is. We appreciate her work and contributions to the agency. And thank you, Dr. Moore. So let's give her a round of applause. For the rest of my report this morning, I'm going to yield time to first to Mary Beth Hatch. I don't know if it's doctor or not, but okay, well, you just got promoted, I guess. She's with the Arkansas Game and Fish Commission. She's going to talk to us this morning a little bit about some opportunities with outdoor education initiatives. So, Mary Beth.
Good morning, board members, Mr. Chairman, Secretary. Thank you so much for having us here today. My name is Mary Beth Hatch. I'm the Chief of Education for the Arkansas Game and Fish Commission. We really wanted to take this time to showcase not just what we're doing in the education division, but how the agency, excuse me, I've been outside every single day this week, literally in the field working. There's a lot of stuff in the air and it's in my throat right now. Excuse me, how we as an agency are serving the state of Arkansas through conservation and outdoor recreation. Something that's really important to me, and I've had the honor of serving on what we call the Arkansas Outdoor Education Initiative Committee or Board. We hold those meetings at the headquarters in Little Rock at the AGFC headquarters. Secretary Warden is on there as well as Dr. Tina Moore. And for those of you that don't know the acronym STEM, Tina is the T and I am the M. as we've done a lot of work for girls in STEM. And so we've kind of coined that with our friend, Dr. Sandra Liederman, who's the S, and Aaron Stanger, who you may know, who's the E. So I had to make that reference, Tina. But we have served on this along with the first gentleman, Secretary Aliva, and then Secretary Lewis from Parks, Heritage, and Tourism, and creating a better team with our state agencies to focus on conservation, education, and outdoor recreation. But something that's really important to us as a division in the agency is what you see in yellow up there, opportunity. And AGFC really does a phenomenal job of providing opportunities through conservation and outdoor recreation. But there are two words before that. One is awareness and one is access. Awareness is incredibly important, as the things I'm probably going to say to you today, many of you will be hearing for the first time. And as hard as we work and as much as we do, we know there's only, so much that we can get out to the public. So your support and collaboration is really what we're looking for today to kind of change the look of the awareness, and especially that second one, access. Many things in the conservation and outdoor recreation industry have a cost to them. That's the great thing about our agency is our nature centers, as well as the programming and things that we provide, come at little to no cost to the public. And that's something we pride ourselves in very much. But we know access is an incredible barrier, especially for students. So you're going to see a lot of ways that we're trying to remove that for Arkansans across the state. There's two more things there, which is experience and knowledge. I was a classroom teacher for 13 years. I was a post-secondary coordinator at the post-secondary level. I was over K-12 STEM at the Department of Education, and I've been a district administrator before this role. Teaching is probably what I'll say I'll always do until I retire. But experience is something we want everyone to engage with us and have a positive one. But bare minimum, we want you to take away new knowledge, and we'd love for you to take away some skills. Some major initiatives that we're going to focus on today very, very, very quickly in this presentation are School of Conservation Leadership, as well as the collegiate designation, statewide events and programs, leadership councils, our Generation Conservation and curriculum resource. I'm going to skip this video. However, it is available to you. This will be accessible to you after the presentation for you to watch that, but it really tells the story of what we're doing here along with our partner agencies. So what we coined a couple of years ago, I started this role in April of 2024 and was essentially asked to figure out how to organize our division. The education division is one of 12 divisions in the agency. We're the fourth largest. We have a little over 50 staff. Our entire agency is made up of about 650 staff. We were doing things well, but we were doing them in pockets here and there. There was not a real centric effort around outreach and coordinating what we were already doing in a way that truly brought some impact. We had very little data that proved more than 20,000 visitors were coming through nature centers. We were visiting schools, but what was actually happening? What were those stories? Sure, people were walking through the doors, but what kind of experiences were they having, and were they gaining new knowledge and skill? So we took everything that we had, and so started in April 2024. May of 2024, I presented this to our commissioners. It packaged up everything we had and made it an attainable way for school districts to engage with us. This process, led by Derek Ratchford, who you'll get to hear from him for about 30 seconds here in just a little bit, is a 3-year designation process. Schools go through that. There are 10 requirements that they have to complete throughout the entire school year. They document that. But the best thing about that is that support. Those barriers to access, those are provided by our staff and our agency. And now as we partner with Parks, Heritage, and Tourism and the Department of Education, we're seeing a greater reach and a bigger impact. Year one, we had 21 schools in the state of Arkansas go through this process. 13 earned the designation. This last school year, the 25-26 school year, we had 65 schools sign up for it. 58 completed it. That's that 176% growth that you see, with 32 earning the designation. Those 32 schools will be recognized next week. That's a lot of growth, but the number that's really more impactful is the one on the bottom. 33,709 students were learning through conservation and outdoor recreation through this opportunity. These were K-12 schools saying, yes, we're in. We're in. What do you have for us? And it was with our staff all across the state supporting them. We want to offer this at the post-secondary level this year, and you'll hear about opportunities for our post-secondary institutions to engage with us just like this. Year 3, though, we're really excited. We haven't slowed down. I don't have any new staff. I don't have a bigger budget, yet we're going to continue to push forward because in education, we do a lot with a little, and we're really used to doing that. Right now, we have 99 schools that are committed to going through this process with us. Mind you, this is open to public, private, and charter. We had virtual schools going through it, our private schools. It's also open to preschool. Those are some of the best recipients of conservation knowledge, and they can speak it just as well as some of our high school seniors can. What's fantastic is, once again, the partnership with ADE and Parks, Heritage, and Tourism and making this happen. I love this picture because we're really trying hard to get Central High School on board. While they're not committed this year, we work very closely with their basketball team. And we provided one of their team building experiences and spent an entire day with those young men on the water, shooting trap, fishing, and shooting archery. It's all about the experiences, and it's all about access for us. We love maps at the agency, as you can probably imagine. We utilize those quite a bit. The stars don't represent how many schools are in those counties, but they represent schools within those counties that have engaged with us through this process or will in this coming year. We also love data, and we also love numbers. So Pulaski County only has 1 star, but there are several schools who have not only gone through this process that earned that designation. If you're here today and you don't see a star in your county, we'd love to hear from you and speak with you a little bit more after this presentation about how not only your K-12 schools can engage, but your post-secondary institutions as well. Another opportunity that we wanted to provide, and I say this in a selfish manner, is I've served on a lot of really great councils and boards and committees. It's very important to me, and any of those that I've served, and I've also turned down some options, some of those opportunities as well, is that they not be ornamental. I don't like serving on groups or presenting in presentations where nothing's going to come out of it. If we're going to meet and we're going to do something, what are we producing? What are we doing? And what kind of impact or solutions are we going to have out of that? I got to serve on National Geographic's Teacher Advisory Council. I've been a PBS Digital Innovator. I've been recognized by MIT, Harvard, the Presidential Award for Science and Excellence, many of those things. But the biggest one was the National Geographic Teacher Advisory Council, a group of 30 educators from all over the United States that got together that were like-minded and were trying to solve some problems. And the biggest one was conservation. The other one was outdoor recreation. And I truly said, why don't we have this in Arkansas? Why doesn't this exist for our educators? And the reason was nobody had done it. So we did it, and we're going into year 3. We just kicked off this week. That's one of the outdoor experiences. The last 2 days, our Teacher Leader Council, we're in Columbus, Arkansas at our Grandview Prairie Nature Center, engaging in outdoor recreation experiences. However, we're building curriculum. We're working on resources, and that's how these teachers give us something back too. It's not just fun, which of course we want to have, but we're learning from them and engaging with them as well. Another opportunity as we go into year 2 is our Student Leadership Council. We call this Generation Conservation. It's a big umbrella there, but one of those opportunities are our student ambassadors. We go into year 2 and we're excited to have students from around the state in grades 7 through 12 that represent not just public, private, and charter, but also our homeschool groups as well. These students engage in experiences and then they take those back to their schools. They get other students excited. They get other teachers excited. They say, why don't we have this in our classrooms? And we're starting to see a difference there in their leadership opportunities as well. And then our final one that we heard this year, because one thing we do is listen to feedback. And you can probably imagine our teachers that first year said, please do this for our principals. Please do this for our superintendents. They love us, but they just don't understand how badly students need this. They don't understand how badly teachers need this type of learning and these types of experiences. So we heard them. And this year we're offering, not that they need another term to boost those egos, but we are calling them our ACEs, and they're our administrators of conservation education, and we just kicked off with them this week as well. We have 8 administrators from around the state, as well as 1 post-secondary from Arkansas Tech University that are going to engage with us in that exact same way. We're going to figure out what are the best ways to get into our post-secondary institutions, what type of opportunities are needed, not just for our students, but also for our professors and our instructors and our leaders of these institutions as well. I'm a firm believer in post-secondary work that I've done in workforce development. Obviously, education should be driven by industry. I truly believe that. What we're doing in our classrooms should reflect the needs that are out in industry. AGFC is no different. We're the industry in conservation. We are the industry leaders and the industry experts, and that's really launched a lot of our work and made it much more intentional. One of the final things I'm going to share about before a couple of my colleagues take over is what we call Generation Conservation, as I mentioned, but we have the Generation Conservation Summit. Think of your FBLA, FFA, FCCLA regional and state events. Well, we created one this last year, one because it didn't exist, for conservation and outdoor recreation. But it's a phenomenal way because, as you can see, every one of these competitions listed on the board represent our agency. It's really important for us not to just toot the horn of education constantly, because everything we do truly represents the work of our agency. We work very closely with enforcement, wildlife, fisheries, private lands, but we also work really closely with our communications division, legal, and HR in ways that are what we do consider impactful. Every one of these competitions is led by those divisions. Last year, we had over 1,000 students participating in this for the very first year. We hold this that first week in November. We will send a formal invitation to you, Dr. Warden, but to this board as well. We'd love to have you there. We'll actually be holding a commission meeting there. Our November AGFC commission meeting. A committee meeting will be the first day. Commission meeting will be the second day. We'll be at Hot Springs during this event. As I said, we had over 1,000 students that participated last year, over 60 vendors and partners. You can probably imagine if this is your first time engaging with me, if I seem passionate or aggressive, it's because I am. But I don't allow our staff to just sit at career fairs. So if you invite us, expect an alligator or something to be there as well. If you invite us, expect our staff to be standing up behind the table and engaging. Expect them to provide an experience. We don't come and sit and hand out brochures. Did we in the past? Sure. Do we do that now? We don't. So we ask the same thing of our vendors and partners. When you come and engage and you want to be a part of this, and you'll see some, bless you, our post-secondary partners taking a part in this, they are providing experiences for students, and that is what we want. I am going to try to play right after this a quick video because it really just kind of brings this home and shows what that engagement looks like. But as I said before, we love maps. These are where these schools came from. This is open to elementary, middle, and high school for a very good reason. We don't just recruit high school seniors. We're not just exposing ninth graders to new pathways. We want that love for conservation and the outdoors to start as early as possible. Those winners on the previous screen came from Mount Judy Elementary, Lincoln High School, and Wynn Junior High School. What do I have to do to get it?
Across Arkansas schools, something powerful is taking root. Generation Conservation. It's not just a program, it's a movement. The pinnacle? One statewide campfire that sparks curiosity.
I'm about to go in a cave.
Confidence.
I got this.
And connection. This is the Generation Conservation Summit, the only event of its kind for young Arkansans. And everyone's invited. Public, private, charter, and homeschool students, all together under one roof. From seasoned outdoor enthusiasts ready to compete, to beginners just getting their feet wet.
I'm a duck calling. I'm gonna win it.
From air rifle and archery to wildlife ID, culinary arts, and STEM.
They have a little bit of everything for everyone here. This really gives kids a chance to shine.
And students don't have to compete to belong. They can explore a mobile cave and face their fears.
I'm a little bit claustrophobic.
You have to turn your body a certain way, and just an inch can make a huge difference in the cave.
Students can meet a game warden and his canine partner, see a live owl up close, practice casting a line, or simply relax in a hammock. Every corner of the Generation Conservation Summit is an experience. For some students, the preparation starts months before.
So this is gonna be like a trout tank where you can fill the water, see how plants are.
This right here is an example of one of their many breeding routes.
We put cages over different kinds of plants to kind of prevent boaters and people from messing with the stuff.
So the reason I made this project is because me and my family go crawfish hunting, and every year it's harder and harder to find crawfish, so we need to conserve them.
My student wants to be a game warden, and I just thought this was a great opportunity for her to come out and meet some game wardens, talk to some of the colleges that are out here. It's just so awesome to see what people do as their job.
Whether a student dreams of competing, discovering, or simply trying something new, this is where they can reach toward their potential. Bring your students. Bring your educators, bring your curiosity. The Generation Conservation Summit. For Arkansas. For the future.
So that's just one example of something that looks fun and exciting, but a great way for us to partner. I want to thank you for your time today. I do have a couple of colleagues that are going to come up and introduce themselves that are going to continue this presentation as quickly as we can. However, we'll be here. If you guys have questions and want to reach out, our contact information is on the last slide. And we would love, love, love to partner with everyone in this room, specifically our health sciences colleges that have opportunities like that, as well as our pre-educator, as we look to get this in more schools around the state.
Thank you, everyone. I'm Derek Ratchford. I'm honored to get to be the Arkansas Outdoor Education Initiative Manager. When I introduce myself, I often say that I'm a recovering middle school teacher. You might know why, but I also had the opportunity to be an adjunct professor for 2 years at the collegiate level. And I'm not sure which ones were more needy, the college kids or the middle school kids, but I will say that the smells are better now, and being able to be outside and have some fun is amazing. But being a part of what we are doing with Arkansas Game and Fish is part of my passion. I'm an educator at heart. I'll never stop being an educator. Being able to do the things that we do, I can truly see the impact from a personal level to what we get to do in the field and the engagement we get to see. So I'm honored to be able to lead some of the things that you see on, and she's already talked about. School concentration leadership has been my baby for the last 2 years. Being able to grow that from 8 counties to 24 counties to now in 43 counties has been a labor of love, but it's also necessary for what we can do for Arkansas students and Arkansas schools. But also tying it back into workforce development, curriculum, and what you guys need at the collegiate level to prepare for workforce. In addition to year one, we added some different things. Continue to try and grow and develop what we're doing at Arkansas Game and Fish. Part of that is coming from that initiative and being having the partnership with the Department of Education, with Arkansas Department of Parks, Heritage, and Tourism, to be able to develop some real curriculum resources to get into the hands of classroom educators to help develop and bring a new lens into the classroom. As we were trying to develop our curriculum resources, it was about not asking our teachers to do more, not asking them to be experts in our curriculum, not asking them to be experts in biking and camping and water quality, but really focusing on what they teach. How do we align what our goals are and our mission is to connect to the higher education, but doing it through a way that aligns to state standards? That was a really important part of what we were trying to develop and build. And so over this past year, we rolled out 275 lessons for our classroom educators through our learning management system, where it does focus on 5 categories, now a 6th category going into this next year. Where they have curriculum, high quality instructional material resources right there at their fingertips they can pull, and they can implement and provide outdoor education, recreation through a whole new lens in the classroom. In addition to that, it's been a true honor to be a part of this team, as well as career technical education, to develop two new pathways. That experience, the direction we want to go and how we align our pre-K kids all the way through high school kids, all the way through collegiate level, is really important for us to really focus on what our needs are as a state. And so being able to be a part of that, developing 2 pathways that align with our needs as an agency, from natural resources and conservation to the needs of our state, and building it in a way that really truly is impactful. We can't have recreation without conservation, and trying to build in those standards and those topics to where we can really connect the learning is really important to me. And before I pass it over to Becky, I do want to say one thing. I won't let Chancellor Robinson get away with saying go Hogs. I have one of those incoming freshmen, but go Bears. And I did do orientation earlier this week. So if anybody has any adjunct positions available, I'm happy to do some additional work to help pay for that cost. But I appreciate all you guys allowing us to be here and share what we're working on. We do really want to connect and learn from you guys, be a part of your campuses and what you're trying to do, and tie you into all the way down to pre-K level students. Next, we have Becky Bloomfield. She's our post-secondary coordinator for Arkansas Game and Fish. She's going to share a little bit about what she's doing in her work.
Thanks, Derek. Good morning, everyone. My name is Becky Bloomfield. I'm the post-secondary program coordinator for Arkansas Game and Fish Commission. I coordinate our Collegiate School of Conservation Leadership designation, our scholarships, internships, and fellowships, and serve as lead for our post-secondary partnerships. I'm going to first share about the Collegiate School of Conservation Leadership designation. After we saw the impact that the K-12 model had on the students, we built a framework that brought the same level of engagement and opportunity to college students. Similar to the K-12 model, there are 12 conservation-focused requirements that schools have to complete, but this designation is available to all post-secondary schools in Arkansas. So that's our public and private colleges and universities, our two-year community and technical colleges, and it also includes undergraduate and graduate programs. So as schools work towards these conservation-focused requirements, AGFC is there to support them through that. And students will be able to experience professional development opportunities with AGFC and our partners, and we'll help the faculty and reach the students on a different level, providing those outdoor experiences that will be unique to them. Success for the program is connecting with new schools and more students and continuing to provide conservation education and outdoor recreation to those students and help them prepare for their future careers. We're currently accepting letters of commitment through August 14th for this designation program. Then schools will be able to complete their self-audit, look at what they're already offering to students, how they can incorporate conservation education and outdoor recreation experiences, and where AGFC and our partners can help them do that. Then the final application will be submitted in late May 2027. Now I'm going to touch on our scholarships, internships, and fellowships. These programs are funded through the sales of conservation license plates. And so on the screen is the design for the 2026 conservation license plate. We design a new one every year, and we use these funds for these programs to help develop the next generation of conservation professionals. Our scholarship program offers up to 6 scholarships per grade level. So college freshmen and sophomores can earn scholarships at $5,000 a year, and juniors and seniors can earn scholarships up to $10,000 a year. Because our scholarship program is so competitive, students do have to reapply every year. Our scholarship recipients are required to complete 40 hours of volunteer time, and we provide opportunities for them to complete those hours with our agency, being mentored by our staff so that they can get in the field hands-on experience working on projects that are priorities for our agency. So we're really helping them build their professional network and their skills in the field. This past summer, we were able to fill 30 AGFC internship positions all across the state and working with different divisions within the agency. These interns worked up to 360 hours this summer on projects in fisheries, wildlife management, education, law enforcement, research, IT, GIS. So we're really offering unique opportunities where students can learn about all the different career paths within a state agency. And no matter what position or division the intern's assigned to, we provide additional opportunities to get experiences with all of our divisions. So they really get a robust internship experience, and they see the full picture of career possibilities. We also have University Outreach Program Coordinator interns. So these interns work with the Education Division throughout the academic year, and they're helping us coordinate outreach opportunities with students on their campus. This past academic year, we had 4 of these positions at 4 different universities, and they helped us connect. They served as a liaison between the agency and the student body. We also partner with the American Fisheries Society to host a couple of Hutton Scholar interns in the summer. So these are high school juniors and seniors that are passionate about conservation, interested in a career in conservation. And they're able to work an 8-week paid summer program partnered with a mentor from AGFC. Here's another great map. So this map, the locations here with the stars represent the post-secondary institutions where our summer interns are attending. We also had a couple from outside of the state. And then the blue stars show the universities that have hosted university outreach interns in the past. We're really excited to see this specific opportunity grow because with the collegiate designation, those schools working towards the designation have the opportunity to host one of these intern positions. And through our graduate fellowship program, we're able to support two-year thesis-based research projects that work on projects that are aligned with our mission, provide valuable resources and data that help us achieve our goals. This is a fairly new program. We've only ever awarded 4 fellowships, so we wanted to recognize the schools that have been able to receive those awards. So congratulations to ATU, U of A, who received 2 graduate fellowships, and UCA as well. Before we wrap up, I just want to say thank you for your time this morning, being able to share all the opportunities that we offer to college students and the support that we offer to post-secondary schools as well. I'm really looking forward to connecting with more schools and getting more opportunities out there to our college students in Arkansas. Thank you.
I want to appreciate Mary Beth and the team for coming today and sharing some information with us. I think, you know, a lot of times I've viewed this partnership as extracurricular or maybe a couple scholarships, but I think there's some opportunities from working with them over the last year to plug in on, you know, programs, alignment from technical certificates all the way to grad school. And I think there's a few of you that have some very unique programs that would fit very well into their fold. And I think it's a unique opportunity to recruit students, retain students, and add a layer to your campus that, you know, maybe you don't have now. So thank you again. I think you're going to stick around for a little bit, you know, maybe after the meeting's supposed to connect. So appreciate you. Thanks again. Moving forward to our next item, I'd like to invite Ms. Sonia Hazelwood to discuss our newly rebranded this week Arkansas Access Portal, which many of you have heard about as the direct application portal. So Sonia, take it away. Thank you.
Thanks, Dr. Warden. Wanted to give you kind of a very brief update on the Access Portal, because we've been working on this now. ADHE staff specifically the last 6 months, and ADE staff for a little over a year now. The Access Law requires the creation of a statewide college admissions portal that grants provisional admission. ADHE is partnering with ADE, a development team, in launching phase 1 of the Arkansas Access Portal. The Arkansas Access Portal is open August 17th for 2026-27 public high school seniors. This will be for fall 27 provisional college university admission. The Arkansas Access Portal will not replace an institution's regular admissions application. ADHE was given access, and we started testing in February. We found over 190 change control items that we submitted to ADE's development team. We got to test from the student's perspective, and we found user interface and experience, minor bug fixes. There was no section on all of the disclosures that are known for higher education, so we had to add a whole section on disclosures and acknowledgements. We did initial testing, and then we brought in institutions to do testing for us, and those institutions found over 165 change control items that were submitted to ADE's team, and that was basically adding some functionality to the system. This is a multi-year implementation process, so we are just getting started. So phase 1 is what's in progress now, and phase 2 will integrate state scholarship information and also open to other student groups such as homeschool students and GED recipients. It was really hard to condense this down into a succinct presentation for you because it's a lot. So some of these are going to seem random, but I thought just giving you some images might kind of help explain the process. This is actually a workflow of the Access Portal. when a student logs in, and they'll have access August 17th, and they'll be able to log into and register. And once they register, because these are our public high school and public charter high school students, there is a handshake with the Trust Center, which will validate and authenticate the student as an actual student. And the Trust Center will pull all of the information the ADE already has for the student. So all of the information that's in eSchool, and also their transcript information. So all of that gets done through the registration process and the Trust Center validation. And all of that information moves over there into the light red box, the access application. So a lot of this will be pre-filled for the student, and the student won't have to start from scratch when they start their application. Now, from that part in the light red box, that will be open August 17th, and the student can work in this application until October 1st. They'll be able to, well, even after that, but they'll be able to answer those disclosures and finish their first part of the access application. And then October 1st, in conjunction with the opening of our scholarship system and things, the student will actually be able to apply to the institutions of their choice. And so the blue box above that says college-specific application, on October 1, the student can actually go in and complete their specific institution applications and submit those. There's also the purple box. There's a place in the system that allows a student to upload documents. There may be some requirements by an institution for something extra that's not included in the first part of the transcript and the personal information. So there is a place to upload additional documentation. But once a student hits the submit button for their college-specific applications, the box on the right, the maroon box, the institutions will receive those, and the institution staff will log in, and they'll see a whole dashboard, and they'll see their applications, and that's when they get to take over from there and process the student's application. Once an institution has processed these applications and granted provisional admission, the letter there on the right, the student will receive that through the access portal. It comes to their email, and it's a very specific letter where the institution can determine what the student needs to know next, because every institution has a different process. Some will have a CRM that takes over and communicates with the student. Some have those processes worked out through their student information system. So at that point in time, this is the place where the student can get more information on what's coming next for them. Here's a look. When a student logs in, they have a dashboard, and it shows them steps 1 through 7. By the time they get registered and do the handshake with Tran to establish their profile and their identity, and all of the information gets pulled in, they're already at step 4 when they actually log in to see the dashboard. And that's where they'll get to review their application. And there's actually a process for them to validate it to make sure that they didn't skip any sections that were required, such as the disclosure sections. They can add documents to My Backpack as needed. And then step 7, they'll submit their applications to the institutions. I wanted you to get a good look at the Explore Colleges module that's provided in this system. A lot of work was done by the ADE team to go out to every institution's website and pull information. So each institution has a profile that's been built for them. There's links there to each institution's website. There's links to each institution's profile, a link to your college scorecard, all kinds of information. Now, what's so interesting about this is that each institution has the ability to log in and update this and add things that they want the student to see. So it's very customizable for the institutions. So they have control over all the links they want the student to have access to. So it's going to be, for those students that truly are undecided, this will be a very good information place, all in one place, where they can go and get similar information that's laid out the same way for all the institutions that they want information for. You can also see on the left too, there are filters. If a student knows they want to go to your college, they can actually filter that down to make the list shorter. And also too, if they're interested in a private institution, they can just check on the private and all of the privates would show up. So after they can explore colleges starting August 17th and help themselves narrow down who they want to apply to. And then October 1st, it will open to the students and they'll be able to actually apply. I just wanted to kind of give you a look at some of the documents that my team works with. It's a quick moving process here, so we have to kind of map it out to keep up with everything that we need to get done. So we actually have one here. The public institution timeline and training was first. We did 4 Zoom sessions with the admissions office staff that are going to be involved in this process. We did those last week. And a very similar look. Just this week, we had 2 Zooms with our private institutions that are participating and are getting everybody moved into the system. I know this thing it's a large project, and that was a very succinct thing. Do y'all have any questions?
Since they will have to fill out an institutional application also, or I guess that's optional, depends on what the school wants. The school is not foregoing an application fee. Many of these schools have application fees. They will still collect that then.
For students that apply outside of this system, they'll have their regular application fee that they will charge those students that apply that way. But through this process, they will get 5 applications for free. And at some point, there may be an actual fee for the 6th and 6 or more, and that's still to be determined.
So the school is going to miss out on the application fee in those cases.
For those students that if it's their first 5, yes.
And they've all agreed to that, I guess, already.
Everybody's on board.
Yeah.
So participation is optional. They're not, the institutions don't have to participate. I will say that, to my knowledge, we have 100% participation.
Publics and private.
Publics and privates, yeah. I think we have them all on board. We are 90%.
The publics, we have everybody. The privates, we have at this point 9 institutions that are participating. And next week, they'll have one last chance to join in. They'll have till next Friday to decide. And they can join in at any time. If this is getting in for year 1, so if they decide that they want this to kind of work the kinks out, so to speak, and maybe we'll join year 2, they can get in at any time. Their institution profile has been built behind the scenes already. So it's just a matter of them agreeing to join.
Sonia, are you expecting that in some cases the access document will become the school's application?
I don't know that that's ever going to be completely possible. The work involved, what's made this part doable in the time frame that we've had to work on this is the fact that these are our public high school students. So we already, the process to authenticate that student and to ensure that this is the student applying, because we have eSchool and Triand, and we're able to match that student to, I guess you can say, authenticate that it is the student. Once we step outside of this public school, we won't have data. We won't have data for private school. So the authentication process becomes a lot more complicated and a lot more serious and needs more attention before we can actually do that.
I would say that I know there's been some consternation around this, some screaming and gnashing of teeth, but keep in mind that the goal with this is to enhance our participation rates. Our participation rates in the states trail the nation's by 20 percentage points. Those 42% of students that are participating in higher ed, we have them. They figured it out. It's the 20% gap that we're trying to cover with this initiative. I know there's some work on the back end, how that your folks in your admissions teams are downloading this information, how you're working it into your slate or your other, CRMs and student information systems. I appreciate the fact that we're 100% in, knowing there's a lot of back end work. This is we're going to have some probably rough spots in this first year, but it's going to get better. And the second iteration is going to include the financial aid piece. So a student's going to be able to see before they apply what the difference truly is between what they have in their pocket scholarships they're going to get, and what's going to cost them to be on your campus. It's hard to do that if you don't have someone behind you, like, like my kids did, to help them through this process. These are the ones that we're focusing on, and that's the reason for this whole initiative. So I want to appreciate everyone in the room for your dedication to seeing this be successful. Sonia, you and your team, that first slide about how many improvements, that talks about the diligence we've gone through to try to make this better and better, and it's going to continue to get better. So Sonia, thank you for that. And Chair, with that, I will conclude my remarks.
Any more questions, Sonia? Anybody?
Thank you.
you. Thank you very much. You're good. Okay, board, agenda item number 4. Mr. Mason Campbell will talk to us about the remediation of Arkansas students.
Thank you, Dr. Carr. Okay. This report is built on Arkansas code that requires institutions of higher ed to determine appropriate placement measures for college level courses in English, reading, and mathematics. Act 970 of 2009 expanded those reporting requirements of post-secondary remediation in a couple very few specific ways. And these bullets here are the 3 distinct reporting requirements that are legislated. We will provide rates for students who enrolled in public institutions and were remediated within 2 years of graduating high school. We'll also show the number of remediated students with a high school GPA of 3.0 or higher, and we'll show the number of attempts it typically takes students to complete remediation. And we've also provided substantial additional data points above and beyond these requirements. So, as usual, we want to provide some context about the size of the cohorts that are being referenced here. So how we define the cohorts has not changed. We want to show perspective compared to all students enrolled in Arkansas public colleges. Roughly 161,000 total students were enrolled in AY25. Of those students, 26,438 were first-time entering. And this report focuses on the cohort of 21,303 first-time entering students who graduated high school in AY23 or 24, and the 7,467 students that required remediation. It's a lot of numbers. So, beginning with a statewide overview, this first graphic shows the distribution of all first-time entering degree-seeking students enrolled in AY25 and graduated in either 23 or 24. 90% of those students were full-time, 71% enrolled at 4-year institutions, and 65% did not require remediation. That's up a percentage point from last year. Last year's 64%. This graphic shows the state of residence for that full cohort of 21,000 students. 73% of students reside in Arkansas, with the highest concentrations of out-of-state students coming from Texas, Oklahoma, and Missouri. And as we're required by law to report on students who required remediation with a 3.0 or higher, roughly 79% of the 21,000 students had a GPA of 3.0 or higher, which makes sense. The majority of students that are entering higher education appear to have stronger GPAs. So, and then for the remainder of the slides, the analysis will focus on the 7,467 students who enrolled at a public institution and took remedial coursework, which is roughly 35% of that first-time entering degree-seeking cohort. So 87% of the students were full-time, 62% enrolled at four-year institutions, and 38% at 2-year institutions, and 90% graduated high school and then immediately enrolled. There were only 10% that graduated the year before and then delayed enrollment that until the following year. So again, for the remedial cohort, graphic shows the state of residence for the remediated students, similar trends to the larger state cohort. 78% of the students reside in Arkansas, with the highest concentrations of out-of-state students coming from Texas and Missouri. Here we show the race and ethnicity breakdown for the total cohort population and the remediated student population with remediation rates for each. So this allows a statewide view of whether some student populations are overrepresented in the remediation in proportion to their membership in that total general population. And then we we wanted to show that we've been doing this now we've been publishing these rates for about 4 years now. So we included some trend data. As you can see, although the totals do not change much year over year, there are more significant fluctuations of the race and ethnicities within the total population. This graphic shows student enrollments by the type of remedial course. So as everyone is likely aware, Arkansas institutions have spent years improving and shifting the remedial coursework primarily to a co-requisite model, which allows students to enroll directly in college-level gateway courses and pairs them with an additional remedial support. So they're getting both at the same time, so they're not delaying their graduation. So we still have some standalone remedial courses. Those are either in our data, those are either gateway remedial courses that lead into a college level gateway course, or they're non-gateway remedial course that leads into another layer of remedial coursework. But we have very few of those remaining. And then this slide shows enrollment by remedial subject and remediation type. While math is by far the most common subject of remediation, most students are in a co-requisite model, which allows them to also earn college credit for their gateway math course. This helps the student needing remediation stay on track and on time to graduation. So just before we look specifically at the GPA of the students in the remedial cohort, this is where we tried to zoom back out to reframe the remedial students with a 3.0 or higher GPA within that larger cohort. Again, these are mostly students needing remediation in math who are also simultaneously getting co-requisite college support. So they're not being delayed on time to graduation. They're getting both at the same time. So next year, we do hope to sort of pull out some of those specific metrics and focus on mathematics, because it is such, it's our most common form of remediation in the state. So as we're required to report by law on students who require remediation graduated with a 3.0 or higher, this graph shows that 64% of students who require remediation had a high school GPA of 3.0 or higher. This slide shows the distribution of test scores among those remediated students. Students are placed using a number of different tests and measures. The ACT test is the most common reported test score to ADHE, so we report on it specifically here. Scores have been grouped into 7 score bands. You can see we would expect the majority of the remediated students are reporting ACT scores of less than 22. This slide shows the attempt rate for students taking remediation. As you can see, most students complete their remediation on the first attempt. And then finally, these last 2 slides show some institutional student success data that we've included in the appendix of the report. Our intent to include these tables is to help institutions better understand the effectiveness of their placement plans, and also to help them achieve their goals as set by the coordinating board policy. So Appendix B shows those gateway course success rates, or the college level success rates, for both the remediated and the non-remediated students. The excerpts on this slide are from 2 institutions that show rates at which students who are remediated then successfully pass the gateway course for each subject area. We would consider these institutions to have healthy success rates. And then still in the appendix, Appendix C provides some insight into the effectiveness of the institution's placement plan. We have tables for each subject area. The 2 excerpts here are from the math table. And based on the placement policy, an institution's plan should reflect a better than 75% student success rate, success being a grade of C or better. The table shows college remedial and overall placement success rates, meaning the student would successfully complete the course in which they were placed, and we would consider these institutions to have strong placement success rates. So as with any report, our results are only as good as the data we have. This is just another tool for institutions to use for continual improvement, and we pair it up with their institutional placement plan. They're required to analyze these results and speak to their rates for the success of and the strength of their assessment plan. So full report is in the board book. Also includes some additional charts and analysis. I'm happy to answer any questions. Thank you, Mike.
Sorry. What determines the remediation model for each institution? You mentioned that 63% are the the co-requisite.
The co-rec
remediation?
model. Yeah. Yeah.
What determines which model the institution follows?
It is institutional choice, right? But we have a lot of research out there. It's a nationwide trend. All institutions do leverage co-requisite remediation, just whether they also have some trailing standalone remediation courses is an institutional choice. Yep.
Let's take a pause here just a minute. Several months ago, I had a call from a dear friend of mine in Jacksonville, Florida. And he said, I've got a friend moving to Arkansas and you need to meet this guy. He is the real deal. And I've known him since he was in high school. And so I invited this, I haven't met him yet. I've talked to him on the phone a time or two. I invited him over today to say hi to this group. Would you please welcome Coach Ryan Silverfield, the head coach at the University of Arkansas? Coach, glad to have you. Glad to have you. These folks represent all the, they represent the leadership of Arkansas's public community colleges and four-year schools. Glad to have you here.
Well, good morning. You guys are wide awake. Appreciate you guys being here. Thanks for inviting me. So, just got back from media days and also we'll talk about more or any other crap that, questions either on the quarterback situation. So all that being said, thank you guys for having me.
Use that mic.
I won't use the microphone. I can promise you that. Yeah, here you can come closer, okay? All that being said, first and foremost, it's kind of cool to be able to talk to people out of respect. So often it's different groups, but to be able to talk to a group, I appreciate what you guys do. Not only for the state of Arkansas, but everybody you guys come in contact, right? Education is obviously ultra important to me, probably more important than most coaches. So with that being said, now 8 months on the job, okay? And people say, what's it like? What was the first month like? And I said, listen, you take a head coaching job, especially at the University of Arkansas, the SEC, with everything that's going on in college football, it's like looking both ways across the street and getting hit by an airplane. Right? There's a lot of things that have been going on. It's been very hectic, but after we've been loving it here at Northwest Arkansas, it's been a great, great thing. Everybody continues to talk about the changes in college football, right? All the things with the transfer portal, NIL, players making more money than most of our coaches. And it's a crazy, crazy world. How does it still matter with the education piece and actually the passion of play the game? And it kind of leads me back to a book I read last month, Simon Sinek, Start to Fly. And he did a TED Talk in 2011. And I'm sure most of us have watched TED Talks and listened to them or read the book. And in 2011, Puget Sound, he talks about a man named Samuel Langley. Okay, so Samuel Langley was a guy that lived in Boston. The year was 1901. Okay, so 1901, Samuel Langley lived up in Boston. He works for the Smithsonian in a seat on the Harvard seat of the board of trustees there. Okay, they had a bunch of friends in the War Department. So they gave $50,000 in 1901 for the War Department. And Samuel Langley said, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get the best and the brightest. Okay, all these educated people, we're going to create something that's going to make me rich and famous. So Samuel Langley said, I'm going to be rich and famous. So he went to the Washington Post, the New York Times. This is 1901 and said, I'm going to build something that's going to make me rich and famous. I'm going to get the smartest. We're going to build this thing. About 300 miles south, in a little town called Kitty Hawk, North Carolina. Okay, well, two brothers that had no more than an 8th grade education. They down the bike shop, Louisville and the Louisville Bread Brothers. And they said, you know what, we're going to invent something with a bunch of our buddies that are uneducated, right? With our blood, sweat, and tears, that has the opportunity to change the world. And they kept talking every day. They go to work in 1901. We got no money, we got no education, but we're going to do this for pride. We're going to do this because we are going to make a difference in the world. And they gathered a bunch of different members. Meanwhile, Samuel Langley trying to be the best of the right. I'm going to be rich and famous. December 3rd, 1903, the Wright brothers did what we now know as the airplane. And everybody says, well, what's that now? The day that happened, Samuel Langley stopped working for his father. Everybody said, what the hell does that do with college football? When you think about this, the Wright brothers say, why? Then it reads it, and people say, well, Ryan, why do you coach this day and age? What's the purpose when all these guys, all they care about is money? Well, that's not true. I still believe we still talk about getting their education. You understand this? Here at the University of Arkansas, we have a 100% graduation rate. They don't graduate immediately. They go to the NFL, they come back and with their degree. There's still a reason why it forces these guys. Ultimately, if it's all said and done, when they bury me on my tombstone, it's not down my tombstone. Hopefully, so that I made a difference in young men's life. So that's the reason why we do this. The day I got to Arkansas my opening press conference, I talked about being all in. It's no different for you guys as educators or what you guys are doing. It's going to take every single one of us. It's going to take everybody in the great state of Arkansas. It's going to take everybody in our entire world. We have 200 people within our football program. That includes janitors, right, grad assistants, starting quarterback, and everybody has to be bought in the way we do things. And so when we talk about being all in, it's kind of unique, guys. You understand I'm dealing with 18 to 23-year-olds. And so sometimes they need acronyms for everything. Hey, they have to say all in. Each letter has to stand for something. That first letter in all in stands for attitude. Obviously, we tell our guys all the time, you have full control of your attitude every single day. Now, every time you come into the building, right, and we have our winter workouts, and you have to be in the building by 5:30 in the morning, what's your attitude once you approach when you're crossing that street from the parking lot into our building? No different than last Tuesday, you guys told the Arkansas heat is 101 degrees, but we're out there running for over an hour. What's your attitude, what's your mindset, what's your approach? We talk to them about it all the time, everything they do. Right? No different than you guys. You guys have the option, hopefully, maybe you guys decide, hey, we're gonna show up in this meeting. You guys came in here this morning, right? You guys said, when I called up here, you guys are there, what's your mindset, what's your approach, whatever occurs. If you got a flat tire on the way in here today, did that affect what happens this afternoon? Hell no. No different than our guys. I say, hey, you broke the road last night. Who gives a shit? You got up and have their practice. You still gotta go practice. You still have to have the right mindset in everything you do. That next L is all stands for little things. Yes, I said this last night. How you do anything is how you do everything. I am a firm believer. If our guys have class or study hall, that class or study hall starts at 8 a.m. If they show up at 8:0004, and they're 4 seconds late for that class or study hall, they're late. They will be handled accordingly. We punish our guys and we take care of them and say, hey, we're going to hold you accountable for what you say you want to do. So we talk about little things, where they park, how they do things, how they dress, where they act accordingly. Our guys are to sit in the first 3 rows of every class. They're not allowed to wear headphones in class. They got to pay attention. Yes, ma'am, no, ma'am. Every single thing in our program matters. So I'm a firm believer, if we can trust you to handle little things, we can trust you when it's 4th and 1, the game's on the line. Nextly, talk about the next L, love. Everybody sits here and says, Coach, you're a middle-aged dude. You don't look like a lot of your players. How can you talk about love this day and age in college football? We talk about it all the time. I coach our guys probably as hard as anybody in the country. I've said some choice words to our guys. In fact, last night when I landed, we had practice. My language was probably not the best. This size 11 with sideways up. Plenty of guys' rears yesterday afternoon. Some choice language. But guess what? Those same guys, you tell them you love them. You check on them at night. You tell them you care about them. You have them go to your house. You become a father figure to these guys. When we talk about love, the day our guys show up on campus, we ask them for a picture of the people that have sacrificed their life, the people they love, their why. We put the picture of those people in the back of the locker. This is Ryan. Why would you take pictures of people's families and put in the back of the locker? Because guess what? We hope they're playing for the name on the front of the jersey. We absolutely do. But the name on the back of the jersey means quite a bit to them. We hope they're not just playing for a paycheck. So we talk to them about their why, their love. So it's okay for us to talk about love and pouring into them. And I still go every single step I have to make sure you're pouring into your players. It's our job. Our number one job is to serve our players. We do that in a variety of manners. That next letter in the all in, that I stands for intelligence. We want to maximize our guys' intelligence. Right? Not only did we just set the benchmark for the highest GPA in program history last spring. Okay, I'm quite proud of that. Before I came here, they said, well, kids didn't have to go to class. That's a bunch of hogwash. Right? We're making sure our guys go to class. We're making sure they're getting their degree, and they're not just getting a piece of paper. They're going to class and they're handling their academics. So I'm quite proud. We set the benchmark for the highest GPA in program history last semester. That being said, we're going to be the most prepared. When we take the field, the way we meet, the way we study, right? The way we watch film, the way we do walkthroughs, we're going to have the smartest football team, the most prepared football team every time we take the field. But we're also trying to educate them on other things, not just X's and O's in football. Right? There's so many other things for them to learn and understand what's going on in society. So we constantly are trying to educate our guys. In fact, most of our guys now, we tell them to get off these phones, get off the TikTok, quit chasing girls at 10 o'clock at night, read a damn book. Maybe we got too many nerds, but we have a book club. Right, in the SEC, but we got guys that are reading books, that are sharing stories with us. Those are great things. Right, that last L and all in, that N stands for now. Having a sense of urgency in everything you do. You understand what we're dealing with 18 to 23-year-olds. Some of you guys have had kids that are that age. You understand there's this procrastination. I've got a paper due Sunday. I'm gonna wait till Sunday morning to do it. No. We got to start on that on Monday and make sure we're staying ahead of things. No different than if I'm a freshman coming in saying, I'll wait till I get stronger before I play. No, the time is now. Having a sense of urgency in everything you do. I've joked around it about 20 years. I'm on that tomorrow diet. Anybody else on that tomorrow diet? Yeah, this morning, right, I go into the staff kitchen, I see those orders, I'm like, man, all right, I'll just eat one, I'll start my diet tomorrow. And I keep telling myself that year after year, day after day. No, it's one of these days I'm gonna wake up and say, no, I can avoid that donut. I don't have that willpower yet, okay? But having that sense of urgency, in fact, we removed most of the clocks in our building. If you come to our building, all you'll see is a bunch of clocks, all they say is now. Having a sense of urgency, everything we do, coach, people say, coach, you're gonna win in about 3 or 4 years. No, we're gonna win right now. Having a sense of purpose that everybody in our building has to understand. You've got to have your hair on fire, and it's Super Bowl Sunday. Let's go attack this thing right now. So when we talk about being all in, that's kind of what it's about. It's our living, breathing DNA, right? That everybody in our program fully understands. It's not just talking about, it's not just words on a wall, it's a culture, it's what we're all about. Right? Obviously thrilled to be here. It's been an excellent thing. We've got a lot of work to do. All right, a couple more weeks before we start training camp, we'll kick this thing off. The guys have been working very, very hard. And for me, the biggest buy-in has been showing the academic progress, the guys doing most community service hours and program history, and ultimately working towards what we want to achieve. But we understand every time we take the field, who we represent. It's you guys. And so it's an honor and a privilege to be here just to share a few words with you guys today. I'll answer 4 questions, no quarterback questions, and then I'll let you guys get back to these last presentation. This may become our team meeting room. I like this room.
Any questions of Coach?
Good, quiet group. I love it. Question out.
You had all your questions yesterday.
Yeah, I got I answered about 148 questions, so all good.
Well, thank you for coming over.
Appreciate you.
Thank you, Izzy. Thank you. Mason, you're back up. Thank you, Coach.
So, Dr. Dudley, what I think where I was going, I would say that the level of co-requisite remediation in our state is very strong. If you look at other states across the nation, they have like strict policies that adhere institutions to a certain, like a percentage of courses have to be co-requisite remediation. We don't have any such policy at the state level. And so we should be really proud of the work that our institutions have done to get us to such a high level of co-rec remediation. So that's what I would say.
Thank you.
Mason, are the numbers different than last year? Are we still about 35% of our students being remediated?
Yes, they're slightly different. There's a little bit of improvement. The number of remediation is going down, but it's not enough to really change that percentage point drastically. Yep.
It just astounds me, and maybe I'm standing alone here, that we have to remediate 35% of all the students that come to our public institutions.
Sure.
It's astounding.
So there's a couple of factors there. One is that if we don't think about remediation in terms of not being college ready, students just need a little bit of extra help, right? That's what that co-requisite piece is. The other thing is that I was just talking to Tina about is that as concurrent enrollment ramps up in our state, a lot of our students are not included in this cohort because they're getting their gateway courses before they get out of high school. So that's sort of like a push-pull and a challenge for our institutions, because when concurrent raises, it's going to make these numbers, these cohorts of students that get out of high school and then are included in this look a little uglier. If that makes sense. So they're fighting against some good challenges that we have in the state. Yeah.
I will say, Chair, that with Learns and Access, one of my goals is to reduce remediation. The fact of the matter is we've got less than half of our high school seniors that have a full schedule their senior year. So they've met their math requirements. They don't take a math class their senior year. They don't have a full schedule. They come to us, they've had a year and a half of forgetting, and they don't pass college algebra. So we've got things encouraged to keep them in school for senior year, take a full schedule, take that math class, and ultimately, I hope in the next handful of years, we start seeing that remediation rate drop down.
Absolutely an appropriate concern. We all share it. Yeah.
I think I mentioned this at the last meeting. I met with a group of high school instructors. And I said, why are we having to remediate so many of your students that come to our colleges? They had all kinds of rationale. Some of them blamed it on the elementary school, you know. And then you blame it on parents and parents, you know, and I just think we got to remind these students, we want you to take the most rigorous courses you can while you're in high school. Don't come here trying to take the cheap, easy courses. Take the tough ones to prepare you for college, because as we were told earlier by Dr. Warden, only 40% of our students go on to post-secondary education. And then we have to take a third of those and remediate them.
Yep.
It just blows my mind.
Yep.
I don't know what we can do about that as a board, but that's something that I think is a serious problem for our state.
The name of the game in our with our DESE friends is acceleration. So they are pushing students further and further and raising those expectations. So it takes so long for it to hit the numbers that we see in these reports. So we're very optimistic that these will continue to improve. Yeah.
Any other questions from anybody? Comments? Anybody from the audience have an idea on that? Tell us later if you, we need to get this resolved. It's expensive to go back in college and teach a remediation course. They should be ready for that when they come. Is that enough on that?
No.
Okay.
Thank you, Dr. Carr.
I'm all in. Okay, action item number 5. Ms. Lewis will present the rules governing several programs.
Good morning. Have to lower this microphone a bit. The first item, 5A on the agenda, is something that you have already seen before. This is coming to you for final promulgation or final adoption. It's the Governor's Higher Education Transition Scholarship Program, and I believe this was presented to you in the May specially called board meeting. Moving on to the next set of rules. Oh, okay, got it. Moving on to the next set of rules. These are for the initial adoption. 5B is the Arkansas Heroes Scholarship. This is a new scholarship that was a result of the Access Act, and it combines the Military Dependent Scholarship with the Leo Scholarship into one that's now called the Arkansas Heroes. 5C is the Military Dependent Scholarship. We just mentioned that one, that is being included into the Arkansas Heroes program, and this is the repealing of that. 5D, the Arkansas Governor's Scholarship Program. The changes that were brought about to this particular scholarship program is that we added language to align with the K-12 elevated diplomas. Those are known as the Diplomas of Distinction and Diplomas of Merit. 5E is the Arkansas Directed Mission Program, and you heard a little bit about that program from my colleague Sonia earlier, and it created the application portal, or the rules allowed for the creation of the application portal, and then set fee structures for the students. Finally, 5F, the Arkansas Future Grant Program, the changes that were legislated in the Access Act of 2025. The changes include clarifying the number of semester hours for student eligibility, and then we removed the community service and mentorship component and the barriers to receiving this particular award. 5G, the Arkansas Geographical Critical Needs Scholarship Program. This provided clarity on the geographical areas that were in language. 5H, the Student Undergraduate Research Fellowship Program, which is known as SURF. The changes to the rules for this one is to clarify the number of eligible semesters and a few deadlines that students need to apply. I'll entertain any questions that you have regarding the rules, both for initial adoption and final adoption.
Any questions from the board?
Very good.
Okay. Do I hear a motion to approve rules 5A through 5H? Second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Let's take a short break now, and we'll come back, and we're skipping agenda item number 6, board, and we're going to agenda item number 7. So let's take a few minute break, 10 minutes, okay? It's 10:20, be back at 10:30. I think we'll get started here. Okay, we ask you to take your seats. We're going to go to agenda item number 7. And coach has left, but we're talking about the certification of intercollegiate athletic budgets. Agenda item number 7, board.
Good morning, everyone.
Vic, go ahead.
This is a report on the budgeted expenses and revenues for the current fiscal year that began the first of this month. First, I want to show you is the athletic fees projected for each campus that will be charged to their students. I believe there are 3 institutions that had increases in their athletic fees from the prior year, 26 to 27. The next couple of slides, which are located in your agenda book, break out the different projected revenues that are going to support the athletic budgets for campuses. See, the first column is athletic generated revenues and contributions. Then those revenues generated from the athletic fees, investment income.
Dick, can I ask you a question
Yep.
about that? That just includes that ticket sales, or what would that be? The
It
first
could
column?
be television contracts as well, things from the conference, anything that's generated from that sport itself goes into the athletic revenues.
I guess I wonder, why is Arkansas Tech 6 or 7 times as much as the other schools on that list in their conference?
That I do not know.
Arkansas Tech, 231,000. There's Henderson State at 26,000.
Yes, sir.
Monticello, 38,000.
On athletic revenue?
Yeah, under first column, athletic revenue.
So does that include concessions and things too?
It does.
So it could be attendance, it could be, other revenue from that sport.
Just a huge difference.
It is a big difference. And I will say we will look in the October meetings when we'll show you the actuals from the 26 year, and we can compare that a little more deeper as well to see if there's.
And looking at that, if you go over to Arkansas Tech's line, the endowment is income is 188,000, but that's not included in the first line.
No, sir.
Pretty impressive.
I would say there's also, you see the last column there is transfers for women's athletic programs. This is a separate amount of money that's transferred from educational in general above the 4% threshold that's allowed for traditional athletic programs. There's an exception that allows campuses to move additional funds for specifically for women's programs. So that's what that column is for. And then here's the second section of all of those revenues where you'll see that highlighted in green, the traditional transfer from educational and general revenue. These are all for the 4-year institutions. And you'll see the next to last column is the total budgeted expenses as compared to the athletic revenues, totaling $320 million across all 4-year institutions. And we have the same chart for the 2-year campuses. And then we have a breakdown of what the types of funding for each of those between the 4-year on the left and the 2 years on the right. Are there any questions on the athletic budgets?
Lucas, you got any questions? No. Okay, can I get a motion to approve the certification of intercollegiate athletic budgets? So moves or second? Second, by Chris. Any discussion? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposition? Okay. Agenda item number 8, Mr. Fuller will present the productivity-based funding distribution for 27-28.
Sir, and this is probably the one most of the people behind me are interested in. This is the recommendation for state funding for fiscal year 28, which will begin next July. Will be presented with the governor's budget in the fall for the session. This is the 10th year of productivity funding. We use baseline metrics on the data from academic year 22 through 24, and the comparative years are academic year 23 through 25. Overall productivity for the institutions of higher ed increased by 4.87% for the year. This resulted in a total recommendation of funding of $597.7 million. Now, I'll say the productivity increased by 4.87%, but due to our productivity distribution model, we never ask for more than 2% increase in funding in any 1 year. So you'll see on the next few charts, the recommendation was 2% above the current funding of $585 million, and that's where we get to the 587. So the increase of $11.7 million is distributed between the 4-year campuses at 8.8 million and the 2-year campuses at 2.9, and is based on the current allocation between those two sectors of funding. So looking at the 4-year campuses, it's the chart of how we developed their base level funding for the year. This takes out the one-time incentive funds that campuses received in 27 that were above a 2% increase to their base level from the prior year. There was almost $2 million removed from their current year funding to get a baseline of 439 million. We distribute the 8.7 based on each institution's contribution to the increase. And then any institution that had negative is supposed to be reallocated between the other campuses. As you will see on the chart for 4 years, there was no reallocation. And that is because the 3 institutions that were negative in productivity, they've all met the threshold within the distribution policy that they can't lose more than 5% over any 5-year period. So each of those met that 5% threshold, so they could not lose any more funding for the year. So their recommended reallocation is 0. It leaves a total recommendation for the 4-year campuses of $448 million. It's the increase of 8.7, and 5.7 of that will be increased to their base in the next year moving forward. This chart for the 2-year campuses, you see 755,000 was removed to create the base level. We distributed the total of $2.9 million new dollars. There were 4 institutions that did have negative reallocation, and then that resulted in a total of $149 million for the 2-year campuses, with $2 million of that being increased in their base. Are there any questions on the productivity recommendation?
Any questions on this end? Any questions down here? Okay, can I get a motion to approve the productivity-based funding distribution for 27-28?
Motion to approve.
Second? Did I get a second? Okay, second. Any discussion? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposition? Okay. Now, Mr. Fuller's still up. Present the operating recommendations for 27-29.
Thank you. This is the recommendation for the spending authority for state funding for the campuses. A lot of this is based off of that productivity recommendation that you just approved. It also includes 2 other state funding sources, which is the Educational Excellence Trust Fund and the Workforce 2000 Development Fund. There are also non-formula entities in this recommendation, and their numbers are based off of a 3.6% increase, which is based off of the AHECB index, and then any additional program enhancements that the non-formula entity requested. In addition to all of these items, ADHE is recommending a 5% spending authority increase to each of the productivity-based numbers. And this is to account for fluctuations in those other 2 revenue sources from Educational Excellence and Workforce 2000 to allow the institution to have the spending authority if funds were to increase. You'll see on the chart here for the 4-year institutions, I cut out the productivity section since you already saw that, just to make this a little simpler, even though there's a whole lot of numbers on there. See the Educational Excellence forecast in the first column, workforce in the second, and then that RSA or productivity number in the third column. We get those together to make the total funding recommendation for your campuses of $512 million. And then you will see the 5% adjustment in the next to last column. Again, this is just spending authority. It's not actual funds being recommended. And the next 2 slides are the charts for the 2-year campuses, showing a total funding of $185 million. And for the non-formula entities, you'll see listed here on the far left of the column, You'll see they have a total base of 117 million, and we are making a total recommendation of $29 million in increases for those programs. The majority of that in their program enhancements. You can see the $26.2 million of program enhancements there. And then the last one would be for UAMS, the health-related non-formula. They are asking for just the 3.6% increase from their current level of 116 million. Any questions on the operating budgets?
Questions? Do I hear a motion to approve the operating recommendations for 27 through 29? Second. All in favor? I should say, any discussion? All in favor? Any opposition? Mr. Fuller will now present the personal services recommendations for institution personnel for 27-29 biennium.
This will be the position side of the budget request that you just did on the operating numbers. These are requests for titles and salary line item maximums for the campuses. Currently, positions or institutions have 27,335 positions authorized. Excluding UAMS, we make a recommendation on theirs separately. Across all of the institutions, they are requesting 117 positions increased, or a net of 117 positions, and we are recommending that, which would be a 0.4% increase from the current year to make 27,452 positions across all institutions. I'll say this is still quite a bit lower than we've had in prior years. We've made a real push to kind of cut these down for only the positions they really expect to need. And UAMS is requesting a net increase of 170 on their allocation, makes a total of 13,044 positions on the campus. Any questions on positions?
Any way to identify where most of those 117 are?
It's spread all over the place on the 117 across the campuses. It's kind of 5 to 10 there across the board. Yeah, there's not a big centralized institution that's requesting a large amount.
Any questions for you folks? 117 new positions, 170 new positions at UAMS.
Yes, sir.
Questions? Okay, can I get a motion to approve the personal services recommendations for institutional personnel 27-29 biennium?
Motion to approve.
Excuse me. Second? Okay. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? For board members, agenda item number 11, we're going to hold off on that a little bit. Agenda item number 12. New program. Are you going to present it to us, Mr. Campbell? Okay. New program, the
Yes, sir.
Associate of Applied Science and Surgical Technology by Northwest Arkansas Community College. And that's on page 12.-1 of the agenda book. Mr. Campbell.
Thank you, Dr. Carr. The proposed 63 credit hour AAS and surgical technician program will prepare students to function as key members of a surgical team in hospitals and outpatient surgical centers. Students will gain competencies in aseptic technique, surgical instrumentation, perio-operative patient care, and operating room procedures. Upon completion, graduates will be eligible to sit for the national recognized certification exam. The program will be housed within NWAC School of Health Professions and supported by dedicated laboratory space in the Center for Health Professions, including a simulated surgical suite, which will be renovated pending approval. Instructional delivery will be supported through existing infrastructure, including learning management systems and simulation technologies. The college plans to staff the program with 2 full-time faculty, a program director and clinical coordinator, as well as an additional adjunct faculty as needed. Current data indicate over 500 surgical tech positions in the region, which exceeds the national average for comparable regions. Positions provide average annual earnings of just over $60,000 for the region, and demand is projected to increase over the next 5 years. The program will be funded primarily from student tuition and fees based on revenue projections from a cohort size of 20 students. The institution has secured in-kind support and donations from a number of local health providers and industry partners. 7 other public institutions offer similar programs in Arkansas, as listed in the agenda item. Initial projected enrollment is 20 students in AY 28, with 19 initial projected graduates, also in AY 28. And Dr. Tony Kinkle is here to present the program and answer any questions from the board.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members, Commissioner. Mr. Chairman, good to see you again after all those years we worked together in Florida, and hope to put to good use what I learned from you here today.
Oh, thank
So
you.
appreciate it.
Keep talking, keep talking.
Mr. Chairman, joining me here is our Dean, Wally Wallemeyer, Dean of Health Professions. Also, one of our adjunct faculty members, Sheena Ramey, who also is a surgical technologist at Arkansas Children's. And also in the audience is our president, Dr. Dennis Riddle. So, Mr. Chairman, we are here to ask your permission and the board's permission to offer a surgical tech program in Northwest Arkansas. You can see there, we expect about 15,000 new residents a year in Northwest Arkansas. We want to share 3 reasons why we think this is good. First, for the taxpayers. As you can see there, we are in a region where we can leverage the massive transformation going on in Northwest Arkansas with what the Walton, Alice Walton is doing. You can see there too what we already do at the college: nursing, EMS, respiratory therapy assistant. We have the infrastructure in place to expand into surge tech. And we can do that very efficiently and cheaper because that infrastructure is there. And secondly, when we train these folks locally, they stay local. And we definitely need them as taxpayers in Arkansas. We think this is good for students. You can see there the growth rate for surgical technicians is 8.5%, $60,000 a year. And those that go into management can make up to about 75 to 80,000. And because our tuition rates are still the lowest in Northwest Arkansas at NWAC, those students are graduating with less debt. So we think that's good for students. And then finally, for the community. And again, you can see we've got Heartland Home Health, the new School of Medicine, that med school up there. And then right next to our campus, they're building the Bentonville Health and Wellness Campus in partnership with the Cleveland Clinic. And I'll just say, coming from Florida, I think healthcare transformation in Northwest Arkansas is world class. And we're trying to sort out our role in that. A very small piece of that is surge tech. And you can see on the second bullet, right now in Arkansas, there's an out-migration of patients seeking medical services. They're leaving for cardiology, for oncology. In fact, a study by the Northwest Arkansas Council said we're losing about $695 million of spending. They're going to Dallas, they're going to Tulsa, Kansas City. And so this is a part of our effort in the region to keep those dollars here. And so Surge Tech and our ability to do that is one small part of keeping those patients here. And then finally, Washington Regional, Mercy Northwest, they're all actively recruiting. In fact, Mercy is hiring those traveling technicians, and they're way more expensive. Mr. Chairman, I'll just close with this. Yesterday, we had MIT on our campus, and we had the healthcare industry, the robotics industry, the retail and logistics industry, and we were all trying to sort out how AI is going to impact how we train all those workers. And at the end of that, one of the healthcare folks came up and gave me a letter, Byron Robinson from Mercy. He's the head of the chief executive director of surgical services. And he said, here's a letter, please put this in the record. We desperately need more surge techs. So, Mr. Chairman, I'd like to add this to the record, but we're here to answer any questions, and we thank you so much for your consideration.
Any questions to Dr. Kinkle or his colleagues here? Are the other 7 programs, do you all know, are they at capacity in terms of students?
All of the programs that we have are basically back to pre-COVID levels. During COVID, we took a big hit on applications and qualified applicants. We're basically back to that level now, where we're taking the maximum number of students that we can in each cohort.
I was
Or-
thinking about the 7 competitors.
Oh, the 7
Do you know-
competitors.
Are they filled?
That I do not know.
Any questions on this program for these folks?
Oh, I'm so sorry. I don't have enrollment numbers.
Having been on the campus with search tech program previous to this role, I would say that program stay full. It's, yeah.
If they were non-viable.
Yes.
Okay.
Dr. Riley's giving a head shake there, so she's giving a search tech.
She has program too. Okay, good. Any questions? Okay, let's get a motion to approve the Associate of Applied Science and Surgical Technology at Northwest Arkansas Community College. Can I get a motion? Motion? Second. Second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed?
Thank you.
Dr. Kinkle, you're going to be a great asset to Arkansas. Glad to have you here.
It's a great need. Thank you for this.
Agenda item number 13, the Master of Science in Nursing, Family Nurse Practitioner by Southern Arkansas University at Magnolia. It's on page 13.1 of your agenda book.
Thank you, Dr. Carr.
Campbell.
The proposed 44 credit hour fully online MSN program is designed to prepare registered nurses for advanced practice roles. The curriculum emphasizes rural health disparities, population health, healthcare systems, and policy. Online coursework will be supported by 540 hours of in-person clinical training and simulation experience in areas such as women's health, pediatrics, adult geriatric care, and primary care. The proposed program is purposefully designed to meet the needs of working registered nurses, providing flexibility while permitting clinical training to be completed at approved sites. It builds upon SAUM's established Bachelor of Science in Nursing program and leverages existing faculty expertise, clinical training infrastructure, and regional healthcare partnerships. Graduates will be eligible to sit for the national certification exam and pursue licensure as APRNs. The program will require various personnel, instructional, and operational expenditures, including the hiring of 1 additional full-time faculty member, some administrative support, initial capital expenditures, and a number of ongoing annual costs to ensure appropriate learning and technology resources. Funding for the program will be derived primarily from student tuition and fees. Labor market data project a 23% employment growth rate, which significantly exceeds average occupational demand. This is driven by a number of persistent and urgent factors, which are particularly acute in rural southern Arkansas. Median wages for APRNs are over $100,000. 6 Arkansas public institutions currently offer similar master's degrees in nursing as listed in the agenda item. Initial projected enrollment is 20 students in AY 28 with 18 initial projected graduates by AY 29. And Dr. Robin Schranz is here to present the program and answer any questions.
Good morning. Thank you so much for having us. Thank you, Mr. Campbell, for overviewing our MSN and FNP program with a rural health emphasis. And thank you, Dr. Carr and Dr. Warden and the rest of the coordinating board. This morning, I have with me Dean Abdel Bakri from the College of Science and Engineering, Dr. Karen Landry, our department chair in nursing, and Mr. Brian Logan, the associate provost. Together with our faculty and local community partners, we've built a program targeted directly at South Arkansas's critical healthcare needs. National data highlights the family nurse practitioner role as one of the fastest growing careers in healthcare. The U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics notes that Arkansas has an estimated 40% growth rate for nurse practitioner positions, and the Arkansas Long-Term Industry and Occupational Projections report from 2022 to 2032 states that nurse practitioner is slated to be the fastest growing occupation statewide, increasing by over 60% and placing it 9th in the top 25 growing occupation list. This growth reflects the increasing demand for primary care providers, particularly in rural and underserved populations, where physician shortages are the most pronounced. Primary care shortages affect every cornerstone of healthcare: preventive care, chronic disease management, pediatrics, elder care. In rural South Arkansas, the problem's acute. Except for Miller County, every single county in South Arkansas is designated as a medically underserved area according to the HRSA data warehouse. Rural healthcare shortages stem directly from having far fewer physicians per capita, and nurse practitioners are the vital link that fills these gaps. Our local employer surveys confirm a high and immediate need for FNPs that will continue to grow. Additional educational capacity is needed to meet the demand regionally and nationally. ASIN reports that over 92,000 qualified applicants to baccalaureate and graduate nursing programs were turned away in 2025 due to insufficient faculty, clinical sites, and educational capacity. Developing additional graduate nursing programs help expands the pipeline of advanced practice nurses. As a regional public university, SAU's mission is to deliver workforce-ready graduates where they're needed most. Our MSN FNP program aligns directly with state goals under the Rural Health Transformation Program and the RISE Arkansas Initiative. The focus on rural health care is what sets SAU's program apart from others across the state. Specifically, we'll have 2 specialized courses: Health Policy, Leadership, and Advocacy in Rural Health, and Rural Health Disparities in Population Health. Those will prepare our students for unique challenges of rural health care. Our experience in engineering and other high-demand fields proves one rule: when you educate locally, you retain locally. Establishing an MSN FNP program allows registered nurses in South Arkansas to pursue graduate education without relocating, increasing the likelihood that they will remain and practice in the communities where they're trained. Our MSN FNP program creates a grow-your-own workforce model, allowing employers to recruit nurses already living and working in the area. Clinical partners become future employers, strengthening the academic practice partnerships and improving graduate placement. Local employers benefit from reduced recruitment costs, lower turnover, and improved stability. But healthcare access isn't just a health issue, it's an economic development issue. And South Arkansas is seeing a rapid growth in the lithium industry and an expansion in Camden's defense sector. When major employers evaluate our region, healthcare access for their workforce is a top priority. Adequate healthcare infrastructure attracts businesses, employees, and families. We hear this from our industry partners, some of who provided letters of support for this program. SAU has the infrastructure and track record to deliver this program successfully. The university already possesses the infrastructure needed to support graduate nursing education. Our existing BSN faculty with graduate and doctoral preparation provide a strong foundation for staffing the program, minimizing the need for extensive new faculty hiring. The program can leverage current clinical partnerships established through our BSN program, avoiding the expense of developing new clinical networks. Our graduates are well prepared to move into this field. For 2 consecutive years, our nursing graduates achieved a 100% NCLEX pass rate and a 100% employment rate. Internal surveys show that FNP is the #1 area of interest among our current nursing students, with over 70% indicating they'd come back to pursue that degree at SAU. At this time, I'd like you to hear from Andy Sperling, an SAU BSN graduate who advanced to become an FNP, and Sarah Palazzi, a plant general manager for Tetra Technologies, about the need and opportunity for this program.
Hi, my name's Andy Sperling. I'm a family nurse practitioner in Magnolia, Arkansas. I think there's a huge demand for FNPs locally. I hear of clinics frequently that have a need for nurse practitioners that is hard to fill. In healthcare, there will always be a job available. I think the most exciting part of the potential to have this program here is the fact that people don't have to travel. They have jobs, they have families, and being able to complete their coursework here would be huge, be a huge asset to the community. I think the most important challenge that rural patients face is access to care. We don't tend to have the access to specialties in this area, so sometimes they don't have the means or ability to be able to travel great distances to see a healthcare provider. So if they have the opportunity to see well-educated, well-informed nurse practitioners in this area, it would make a big difference for the care that we're able to provide here. If we're able to train those nurses as nurse practitioners in this area and they stay in this area, then that benefits everyone. It benefits the person being able to stay here to have their job. It benefits the patients that need the care. If there are nurses locally that want to pursue an education as a family nurse practitioner, I would say go for it. The patients are here, they're available. It's a great place to work. It's a great opportunity. And if we're able to provide that service in rural Arkansas, it would be amazing.
My name is Sarah Palazzi. I work for Tetra Technologies, and I'm their plant general manager for the bromine and lithium facility being built south of Stamps. So Tetra is building a bromine plant just 6 miles south of Stamps, but we're super excited because it's where the Smackover concentration looks to be very prolific in bromine and lithium, and so we're excited to be building a plant here. Our closest available nurse practitioner is in Stamps, and there's just one. And I think we've already maybe maxed out everything that she has to offer, as she is supporting a huge chunk of Lafayette County. And there's a small practitioner's office in Louisville, and that's the only resources that we have available. Tetra, really, when we look at the amount of jobs that industry is going to bring to this area, not just with Tetra, but the other lithium industries that are coming, all of these employees, for every one job that we employ at the plant, that's 5 or 6 more jobs in the community. And that community also needs the same amount of healthcare provided for them. One of the things that Tetra is most proud of is that up until this point, everything we've done has been with local contractors. We've done everything from our rough grading to our fencing to our GC on the project. We want this plant to continue to expand, hiring local and using local resources. And when that resource isn't available, that's a challenge. So having a local nurse practitioner resource just continues to foster that philosophy that Tetra is trying to accomplish. The other really important thing is we want this to be a generational plant. It's not just a come and run for a little bit and shut down. And so with that, employees need resources available to them both at work and outside of work.
So thank you very much for your time and consideration of this program, and we're all happy to answer any questions you might have.
Questions?
Question about how do you collaborate? Obviously, there's a lack of nurse practitioners in South Arkansas. How do you collaborate with current medical employers or incentivize nurse practitioners that receive this degree to open a clinic in the area? What employers are available currently, and how do you guys collaborate with them or incentivize or motivate the new graduates to stay and set up shop there to serve the community that the goal of the program is trying to achieve?
Sure. I'll let Dr. Landry, do you want to answer? Yeah, sure. I'll let Dr. Landry talk about it.
Okay. All right, great question. Thank you for asking. So what we want our students to do in this particular program, what we proposed is that the students will do at least 50% of their clinical in the rural community. Therefore, they will be actually going to the local communities, hospitals to do their clinicals. Hopefully, then those hospitals will then employ those students to stay on board. So that's kind of how we're hoping that we will partner with the rural hospitals and hospitals everywhere that we can to try to keep those students locally. So did that answer your question?
Absolutely. Thank you.
Yes. Any others?
I've got a question. You have a great shortage of nurse practitioners. How difficult is it to find faculty?
How do we find faculty?
No, is it difficult to attract faculty to come teach these classes?
Okay, all right, great question. Another great question. So we have 2 doctorally prepared faculty currently on our
Already
in our
okay.
faculty.
We also have a master's prepared nurse practitioner. So we have 2 DNPs that are nurse practitioners. We have one that's master's prepared nurse practitioner. What we're planning on doing is sending in the transferring the doctorally prepared part-time. I am also have a PhD in nursing, not a nurse practitioner, but I will be helping with the core coursework that's not nurse practitioner because that's not my focus. But the nurse practitioner will take on the clinical aspect of it, and we will team teach in the FNP program together. Because of our accreditation, which we're changing to CCNE, we have to have doctorally prepared people. And then the new position that we spoke about will come then into our BSN program to teach, because they have to be master's prepared to teach didactically in our program. So that's kind of how we're trying to maximize our capacity to teach in our programs, because it is difficult. You're absolutely correct. It is difficult to bring in faculty because of the salaries that across the United States, you have lower salaries. Nurses can go out there into clinical practice and make more money across the United States, across programs.
My second question is just kind of for my personal information. I've seen several jobs advertised lately, and it said FNP or PA.
Okay.
Are they basically the same thing?
Let me clarify that for you. No, they are not, but they're both great programs. So you have your physician's assistants typically will come out of a medical school model, and so you see a lot of medical schools will have in their program a physician's assistant, and the physician assistant will practice with a medical doctor, okay? So with the nurse practitioner model, you have nurse practitioners that come out of schools, departments of nursing, colleges of nursing, and they have their own licensure. Now, your PAs have their own licensures too, but typically you will see them, they will be under a medical doctor. But your nurse practitioners can be in a clinic with a medical doctor, or they can set up their own clinics. And we just, in fact, we saw one of our speakers, she has just set up a clinic all of her own. She's going to be practicing in Magnolia.
And PAs cannot do that.
PAs typically do not do that. You do not see that. They, in fact, our actually our president may be able to address his wife is a PA, and so he has a lot of experience in that. But that's typically the 2 models that you're talking about. They function very similar, but the way they get their licensure is different. One is through the State Board of Nursing. The other is through a PA model.
Excellent.
Any other question?
Any other
I
questions?
love questions. I love to ask them.
Okay, thank you both very much.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Let's see. Do I hear a motion to approve a Master's of Science in Nursing, Family Nurse Practitioner, Rural Health by Southern Arkansas University? So moved. Second?
Second.
Second. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye?
Aye.
Any opposition? Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. We appreciate it.
Agenda item 14, an Associate of Applied Science and Environmental Management by SAU Tech. It's on page 14-1 of your agenda book. Mr. Campbell.
Thank you, Dr. Carr. The proposed 60-credit-hour fully online AAS in environmental management is a workforce-focused degree intended to prepare students for careers in municipal utilities and environmental services with technical emphasis in water treatment and distribution, water waste treatment, industrial pretreatment, and solid waste treatment, along with supporting coursework in science, safety, and compliance. Graduates will be fully prepared to handle the operation and maintenance of municipal environmental systems, ensure regulatory compliance, and assess the performance. Minimal startup and operating costs are anticipated. Existing instructional capacity will be leveraged through SAUT's training division, the Arkansas Environmental Training Academy, Program funding is expected to come entirely from student tuition and fees. Labor market data indicates sustained growth in Arkansas for occupations that support these types of critical public infrastructure functions, with an estimated 258 annual openings projected over the next 5 years. Median wage earnings across aligned occupations are approximately $20 an hour, with higher wages available in advanced roles. There are no similar active associate level programs in Arkansas. Initial projected enrollment is 10 students in AY 28, with 8 initial projected graduates by AY 29. And Dr. Valerie Wilson is here to present the program and answer any questions from the board.
Good morning to Dr. Carr and to Dr. Warden and the board. Thank you for having us this morning. I have with me, and I'm Valerie Wilson, I'm Vice Chancellor for Academics at SAU Tech. I have with me Jeremy Rowe, who is the Assistant Director of the Arkansas Environmental Training Academy, and Dr. Jared Thomas, who is our Chancellor. As Mason has already mentioned, we're presenting the Associate of Applied Science and Environmental Management with the municipal concentration at SAU Tech for 60 credit hours. We offered this program in the past as an emphasis area under a different degree. We paused the program to make needed revisions to reflect and to include items from workforce demand. This program directly supports the mission of SAU Tech by advancing workforce development, strengthening partnerships with industry, and providing accessible, career-focused education. Through its alignment with the Arkansas Environmental Training Academy's statewide training mission, the program promotes strategic initiatives centered on economic development, industry engagement, and expanding educational access, particularly through its fully online delivery format designed for working adults across the state of Arkansas. As I've already mentioned, the Arkansas Environmental Training Academy has a statewide mission, which is why we are delivering this course completely online. Our prospective students will be made up of those currently working and potential employment in the wastewater treatment field. We currently have the institutional capacity to handle this program. As it's already been mentioned, the instructors for the program will come from the Arkansas Environmental Training Academy current full-time faculty staff. There will be no startup cost. We already have the infrastructure in place. The long-term sustainability of the program is supported by strong employer demand, minimal startup costs, and it's fully online. As I've already mentioned, there will be no major capital investments. This program is distinctive because no other institution in the state of Arkansas offers this program, anything comparable to this. It's focused on municipal environment systems, integration with workforce certifications, and alignment with real-world utility operations, differentiate it from traditional environmental or science-based programs. Operating costs are minimal, and as I've already mentioned, we will be using our full-time faculty for the academy, and they will be compensated using our regular adjunct instructional rate. Do you have any questions?
Questions? Thank you very much. Let me get a motion to approve the Associate of Applied Science in Environmental Management by SAU Tech. Motion, second? Second. Any discussion? All in favor, aye? Aye. Any opposition? Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Information item number 15, Mr. Mason Campbell will provide the background for these agenda items. Arkansas Public Institutions, letters of notification and letters of intent.
Thank you, Dr. Carr. Agenda item 15, letters notification received since the April board meeting. These are reasonable and moderate extensions of existing approved certificates and degrees. They are approved by the Commissioner of ADHE and must be included in the AHEC board agenda prior to initiation. These are from 29 Arkansas public institutions requesting 309 total actions affecting 211 programs of study. As you can see, the majority of these actions are curriculum revisions to existing programs. A full comprehensive breakdown of all these letters of notification are listed in the board book. And this is not a voting item, but happy to answer any questions.
Any questions? This does not require a motion, but just for information. Okay,
A lot moving out there.
thank you.
Yes, sir.
Are you doing 17 also?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
16.
Agenda item 17, out-of-state and Arkansas private institution resolutions on page 17-1.
I'm gonna do
Yeah,
16. Yes, sir.
We missed 16's missing in our printout, so we
Oh.
will proceed with 16.
Excellent.
Tell us
Okay.
about 16.
Excellent. Okay. Agenda item number 16 is the letters of intent received since the April board meeting. And letters of intent are received from institutions of their plan to offer new degree programs or establish new off-campus instruction centers or organizational units that might require higher ed coordinating board approval at future board meetings. So nothing to vote on today. We received one new letter of intent. Again, not a voting item, just informational.
Questions? Thank you very much.
Thank
Mr.
you.
Campbell, appreciate that. Now, agenda item number 17, the out-of-state and Arkansas private institutions, on 17-1.
Good morning.
Ms. Colbert, excuse me, I should have introduced you.
These are the out-of-state institutions that are requesting approval for new programs. There are two institutions out of California. These programs meet all the requirements from Arkansas law and board policy. Are there any questions?
Any questions? Mr. Woodard? Most of us don't understand this one at all. We have to get it each time, so it's a list of private institutions that want to come teach in our state.
Yeah, they're out-of-state institutions that are requesting permission for Arkansas students to enroll. They're all online programs. So sometimes we have, in this agenda item, we have private institutions in Arkansas that are requesting new programs, but not this time.
So just this time, they're just two.
Right, this time there's two out-of-state. Mhm.
Can I get a motion to approve those two?
Motion to approve.
Second? A second, okay. Any discussion? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Okay, Ms. Goldberg, stay with us.
Okay.
Agenda item number 18 and 19, out-of-state and Arkansas private institutions letters of intent.
Yes, these are the out-of-state and private institutions that are submitting recertification or reapproval requests. And they're also submitting small or changes to their programs. There are also programs from institutions that are exempt from licensure or certification they're requesting.
Any questions on this? Okay, that's item 17-1. Do I hear a motion to approve out-of-state and private institution resolutions? Motion second?
Second.
Second? Discussion? All in favor? Aye?
Aye.
Anybody opposed?
Okay.
You doing 19 now?
Okay.
Okay.
19 is the list of out-of-state and private institutions that are wanting to offer new programs. And you'll see that most of those are reapprovals for programs or recertification.
That's an information item, and the last one was too. I apologize for that. Any questions of that? Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Okay, information item number 20, academic program review. Mr. Campbell, you're up again.
Excellent. Thank you, Dr. Carr. Okay, Arkansas Code and Higher Ed Coordinating Board policy require the review of academic programs through an establishment of a formal process to identify any programs not meeting the minimum standards of quality. Simply put, all of our academic programs must go through this process. Our standards require active programs to be reviewed on a maximum of a 7 to 10 year cycle, and ADHE holds institutions to their review schedules to ensure that all programs adhere to that timeline. Any program without a program-specific accreditation must conduct an internal self-study with at least 2 external reviewers or consultants, and 1 must conduct an on-site visit. So those that have program or discipline-specific types of accreditation do not need to undergo a separate additional review or self-study to meet our standards. So these are the program reviews collected for academic year 25-26 up to this point. And again, because the review schedules are created by the institutions and are self-imposed by themselves or their accreditors, depending on the program, it's sometimes intentional for an institution to schedule years where there are no program reviews expected. So as is common every year, we also have some reviews that are still pending submission to us, and we're working with institutions to get those in. We have collected a total of 175 program reviews thus far that were on schedule for this year's cycle. And I want to commend the institutions who do this work. These comprehensive self-studies and program reviews require a significant amount of collaboration across the institution and the departments, a lot of institutional resources, and a lot of time. So a lot of great work done here. Any questions?
Going to agenda item number 21, the academic program review recommendations, page 21-1 of your book.
Okay, the second agenda item for our report on program review is a recommendation to the board to put a number of programs on notice for being out of compliance with the program review policy. This is not a surprise to the institutions that you'll see here today. We've been in the trenches together trying to figure this out. This is something we, as I said last year, something we do with a heavy heart, knowing it's our responsibility. So even though we continue to collect a very healthy number of reviews every year, as you saw in the previous report, on agenda item number 20, we still have some that are outside of that maximum allowed 7 to 10 year cycle that require comprehensive review. So it wouldn't be fair to present the following 8 slides in a manner that assumes that institutions are like intentionally allowing their programs to become non-compliant. I'm just going to thumb through the list. There are many different reasons why an institution may have allowed a program to fall out of compliance. Sometimes those reasons are beyond an institution's control, such as accreditation, such as turnover in faculty leadership. There are 2 tables in the board book that separate these notices out by 4-year and 2-year institution type. And then there are additional column notes on whether the program is on year 1 of notice or whether they're on year 2 of notice. So it is the recommendation of ADHE Academic Affairs staff that these programs noted as year 1 be put on notice that will begin at this July 26 coordinating board meeting, and if not remedied, will move to year 2 notice at the July 2027 coordinating board meeting. Programs noted as year 2 were recommended for notice last year and are now recommended to be moved to their 2nd year of notice at this July board meeting. And they will be recommended for deletion if not remedied by the July 2027 board meeting, if they don't submit that program review. We will continue to bring this report to the board each July with the status updates of this recommendation. And that concludes my report. Any questions?
This item does require a motion, the academic program review recommendation. First of all, let me get a motion. Motion? Second? Second. Any discussion on this one?
If you need our support getting these program reviews done, please call. If you need us to close your program in year 3, we will. We're tasked to do this. It's not fun. If you need some leniency and there's extenuating circumstances, we understand. But we're serious about this business. Let's do it right and appreciate the board support. So, thank you.
We vote on that? We get a vote on that? Okay, got a motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. Anybody opposed? Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Now, Mr. Campbell, you're still up though. provide background on concurrent enrollment for us on the agenda item 22, an information item.
Yes, sir. This agenda item covers the requirement in our concurrent enrollment policy that institutions be authorized by either the National Alliance of Concurrent Enrollment Partnerships, which we call NACEP, or be authorized by the coordinating board. As of today, NACEP currently authorizes 10 institutions in Arkansas, while the coordinating board authorizes 34 institutions. These numbers include public and private institutions. The institutions being authorized today are a subset of those 34 authorized by the coordinating board. Our academic affairs office oversees the initial authorization and the reauthorization process. The institution submitted the required documentation, which was reviewed by the concurrent review committee, and the positive evaluation of these reviews form the basis of this recommendation. So I want to thank the institutions for their time and attention to this important authorization process. ADHE staff recommends authorization for the following 4 programs for a period of 5 years. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Any questions on this item? That was an information item. Thank you very much. Was that
Thank
3 privates and 1 public? Is that what I saw? It was 3 privates and 1 public.
Yes, sir. Yep.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, we're coming to close here. If you'd like to address the board today, please come up and talk to us. You come use the mic, identify yourself and where you're from. If none, I would like to thank the University of Arkansas for hosting us today. And I want to say something about our staff. I just think we have a fabulous staff running ADHE in this state. And I want to commend them. They do a first-class job, and for them, I'm very appreciative of them. Our next meeting will be on October 23rd at ASU Mountain Home. So hope to see you there. Now, here's an easy one. Do I get a motion to adjourn? Motion, second. Any discussion? All in favor, aye. Aye. We're adjourned. Thank you very much.